Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers again with Green Acres Pest Control, and today I want to go over centipedes and millipedes and how you can keep these pests out of your home. Hopefully by the end of this video you will be able to eliminate lady screamers from your home. So first, let me start the video off by saying read all your labels. This video is going to go over pesticides, and I'm not talking about the dangers of pesticides. I go over this in other videos. I've got lots of videos talking about the dangers of pesticides. If you watch my channel and you're a regular subscriber to my channel, thank you very much. If you're not, think about hitting that like button. Think about subscribing to me. I've got all kinds of very useful videos, over hundreds of videos online explaining how to get rid of pests on your own. So today we're going to go over centipedes and millipedes. If you don't feel confident in your ability to use pesticides safely around your home, around your children and your pets, be sure to hire a professional. That is what we're here for. I've been doing this for 32 years. It's all I've ever done my entire life. I love pest control, but I'm also very safe with what I use, and I understand the dangers of chemicals. So, that's been said, we got over it. Let's talk about killing centipedes and millipedes. So you've got centipedes and millipedes coming in your house. What I recommend is first you need to prepare the area for treatment. How are we going to prepare the area around your home to ensure that we can do a proper pest control application and get rid of centipedes and millipedes? First, you want to trim your bushes back away from the house. And I say this in a lot of videos. You need to keep the bushes back away from your house at least a foot. If you can trim them back 2 feet, that is perfect. It allows for airflow around the house. Why do centipedes get in our home? Why do they even want to be in the house? So centipedes and millipedes both come in for different reasons, but very similar but different reasons. They like moisture. They will live in your house. They, especially centipedes. Now the difference between centipedes is centipedes have 2 legs for every body segment they have. Their legs branch off of the sides of their body, so they kind of look like a fuzzy worm when they crawl on the wall. And a millipede has 4 legs per body segment, and they look like a little worm, like a hard-shelled worm, because their legs go straight under their body and you hardly ever see the legs of a millipede unless they curl up. Or if you flip them over on their back, you can see their legs. So why do they come in your home? They come in your home a lot of times just because it's a moist, damp environment. They love crawl spaces, especially centipedes. They love to get into crawl spaces and basements, and they will crawl up the wall. They love cinder block homes. So if you have a home that has a cinder block foundation, they will live in the voids of the cinder block by the thousands. Millipedes will live and reproduce inside the wall of your home, your foundation wall especially. So if you have a crawl space or you have a basement and your crawl space and your basement have cinder block foundation walls, they will live inside the wall voids. So what happens when they get overcrowded and cramped and there's nowhere to go? They come out in your home. They'll go outside too, but they love to come out in the home because the home is more climate controlled and it's more hospitable to centipedes and millipedes. Millipedes. Why do millipedes come in your home? Millipedes like a very damp environment. What they do is they breed and reproduce in a wet, damp environment. They love the dampness. So when you live in an area like I do in Virginia, when the weather dries up for a period of more than 2-3 weeks and you have I guess you really could say a period of drought, the millipedes get thirsty and they like water because that's what they breed in. They're like, oh boy, it's raining, and they get all happy, and they're like a bunch of hippies in the wet environment, and they get all happy and breedy. So they breed, okay? If breedy is a word. But they like to breed in a wet climate. So when it dries up and you've got dry weather for 2 or 3 weeks straight, they start coming in the house. And if you live near a body of water, like a lake or a pond or a river or a stream or even a creek, they will breed in those areas and then they will make their way into your home. Millipedes are a lot easier to get rid of as far as a quick solution. Centipedes are much harder because there are so many that live in the wall. So how do we eliminate centipedes and millipedes? Let's talk about, so we've talked about preparation. I went into kind of a little bit of a tangent there, but we've prepared the outside of our home by trimming our bushes back. Getting rid of mulch helps a lot. Centipedes and millipedes both will make their home underneath the bed of your mulch. So you want to make sure you get rid of your mulch, replace it with things like rocks or maybe crushed red brick or rubber mulch, something like that. Even rubber mulch though, I have found centipedes living in rubber mulch. So you want to go with more of a stone if you really don't like centipedes. Millipedes, basically anything that breathes and keeps the moisture down away from your house is actually a really good thing. So definitely not wood mulch, not shredded mulch or anything that's going to hold moisture against the ground. You don't want that up next to your house. So you want to get that stuff away. You want to make your house dry. You want the soil around the house to be nice and dry, and a rock will allow for the soil to breathe. So put that around the base of your house instead of a wood mulch. Also, this will prevent things like oriental cockroaches, wood roaches, ants, and things like that also like to make their home in wood mulch, not to mention termites love to eat it too. So you'll keep down things like that are actually pretty detrimental to your home's health. So now that we've prepared the outside of the home, this is really the main thing you need to target. It's not so much an inside treatment. Now you will need to treat inside the home if you have centipedes, and the reason being is because if they're living in the walls of your home, they can go inside and they can go outside. So you need to treat both sides of your perimeter walls, especially if you have a crawl space. Then you need to get under the crawl space. I know this sounds awful, nasty, and gross, but you need to treat under the crawl space. You need to treat around the edges where the plate meets the foundation wall. This is going to help you get rid of them a lot quicker than other ways that you could treat your home. Now, there are other things. If you don't have the ability to crawl under your house, and maybe you're disabled, or maybe you don't like to get into tight spaces like crawl spaces, you can do treatment in the home. You can treat around the baseboards of your home. You can treat around, everywhere there's a baseboard, everywhere there's a window and a door, you want to treat around those areas, and especially around the outside. So what are we going to do around the outside? We're going to use Bifin granules. What these do is they activate when they're wet. You're going to treat them around the foundation of your home, all the way around, going about 2 to 3 feet outside of your home using a hand spreader, which I'm going to link both of those in the description below. All of my chemicals I'll link below, everything that I recommend using. And we're going to use, as a liquid application, we're going to use Demon Max around the outside of your home. It's a fairly inexpensive cypermethrin. It's a synthetic pyrethroid pesticide. It's very effective on lots of bugs. It helps with spiders. It helps with centipedes, millipedes, crickets. It helps with ants. Lots of things that are going to come in your home from outside. So we're going to treat the same area we just spread the granules. We're also going to treat, you can treat up to 2 feet around the outside perimeter wall, and you can treat 2 feet out around your mulch beds, around the foundation of your wall. You also want to treat around your windows and your doors and your eaves, all the places that the bugs like to crawl up the wall to try to squeeze into. You want to make sure you treat those areas really, really well. You also want to make sure that when you come in the home, what are we going to use inside the home? How are we going to kill the bugs that are already in our home? So what I recommend for a general pest control product, and this controls lots of different bugs, not just centipedes and millipedes, but also kills things like ants and crickets and spiders and all kinds of bugs that get into your home. We're going to use Alpine WSG. It's a very versatile chemical. I talk about it a lot on my channel. It is rather expensive, but a little goes a long way. You only have to mix, I believe, and you're going to need to read your labels. This is where I say it's very important to read your labels. Labeling tells you how to get rid of bugs properly, how to do it right, how to make sure that you're doing the job that you need to do correctly. follow the directions. It's like trying to put together a piece of IKEA furniture and throw in the directions in the trash before you get started. So the way that we're going to treat the home is we're going to mix Alpine WSG according to label, and we treat around the cracks and crevices, the baseboards, all throughout the house, in the basements, especially if you have an unfinished basement. You need to treat the cracks up above your wall, so where your plate sits on top of your foundation wall. Those are the areas that centipedes like to crawl out of, because if they're living in the block wall, they're going to come up and they're going to come out through that plate. Same places we talked about treating underneath the house if you have a crawl space. You want to treat around those areas, and that will kill the centipedes when they come out. It'll also kill the millipedes that crawl in that way, because a lot of times millipedes will crawl over the foundation wall and come into your home that way. So this will eliminate the millipedes and the centipedes that are coming in from the wall itself in your basement. This is the place we're going to spend most of our time. We're actually going to spend most of our time treating the basement and maybe bathrooms. If you have problems with centipedes and millipedes in your bathroom, then you want to make sure that you treat those rooms too. You want to treat around the baseboards, around your access panels, behind the tub, wherever your pipes come in to feed the water, the hot and cold water. You want to open that up, and you would treat around the cracks and stuff in there too. I've actually found whole nests of centipedes behind the tub. So you want to make sure you pull that out and treat underneath your tub really, really well. So that's your treatment. So how are we going to prevent this problem from continuing in the future? What I recommend is doing a regular treatment once a month. You're going to have to do that for centipedes, because centipedes come in every month. They will come in every month for 6 months. You may have to do this because they can build up such large numbers in your wall that they will slowly trickle out into the house. And so in order to eliminate the centipede problem you've got, you're going to need to do once a month treatments every month, once a month for at least 6 months, maybe longer, until you stop seeing centipedes. And then after you've eliminated your centipede problem and your millipedes for the same reason, you'll want to treat every month, once a month, every 30 days. You want to do a regular treatment all the way around the outside. You don't necessarily need to do an inside treatment because we've already eliminated the problem inside the home, but you need to do an outside treatment exactly the way I described earlier. And like I said, you're not going to have any bugs. You're not going to have centipedes, you're not going to have millipedes, you're not going to have spiders or ants or crickets or anything, because you're treating your house regularly for pests. So hopefully this video has helped you understand how to do proper pest control for both centipedes and millipedes. If you have any questions, leave them below. Thank you and have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.